Karma and other apps are lying to you. On our last video, we talked about how Credit Karma was the biggest scam in American history. And of course, that's a fact. And I brought you proof to show you the differences of how Credit Karma is actually lying to you and trying to manipulate you and get you to actually sign up for services, sign up for auto loans, sign up for credit cards, all of these things to make it an actual marketing site. But I forgot one very important part, that there are also hundreds of other free apps that are trying to confuse you with the wrong credit score. And a lot of those apps are actually affiliated with some of the biggest banks in the actual credit space. So on today's episode, I'm going to cover all of those other apps and what score they actually show you so you can get better clarity and understand what you're looking at when you open up the app for your credit cards or your bank or whatever other free app that you're using. And the last video that we made was like literally 15 minutes. I did not want to make it any longer than it needed to be. But before I jump into these actual apps, let me give you another few tips before we do that, because I want you to understand exactly where and what to use when you're looking for your credit score. Also, let me give you one big tip before we get into this list. Now, there's some confusion out there that if you apply for credit or you actually pull your credit score, which one actually affects you. Now, I'm here to clear this up and tell you, anytime that you pull your credit reports and you're looking for your credit score, that has no effect on your credit profile or your credit score. It's what we call a soft inquiry, and it does not hurt your credit. You're not going to see your credit score drop because you're actually looking on an app to see what your credit score is for a specific lending position or for whatever you're trying to apply for. However, we have seen that when you do actually apply for some form of credit, whether you get denied or you get approved, you can lose at maximum 6 points. So when you actually go through the credit application process and you get approved or denied, a lot of people have seen their credit scores just dramatically tank on their actual Credit Karma because, again, this is a Vantage credit score. It's not a FICO scoring algorithm. It doesn't matter. And this is why it's actually confusing you again, because you're like, okay, oh my God, I just applied for 2 cars and my credit score just tanked. I'm screwed. And then you get stuck and you're like, I don't want to apply for any more credit. I'm going to stick with this deal that I got at the dealership. But again, that's not the case. At the most, you could potentially lose up to 6 points, whether you get an actual decline or you get an approval. And if you are applying for a student loan or an auto loan or an actual mortgage, you're trying to buy a house, you have up to 30 days to apply to as many lenders as you would like, and it only counts as one. So you'll only lose those points one time. All right, so let's get started with NerdWallet. NerdWallet is one of the most popular places for any type of financial advice, or if you're looking for any type of credit cards. It's supposed to be one of the #1 stops that's supposed to be actually accurate. Well, unfortunately, their credit score is not accurate. Now, let's put it up on the screen right here so you can see it. Now, the credit score says I'm a 638, but here's the crazy part. Nowhere on their site does it say whether it's a FICO score or an actual Vantage 3.0. So they're trying to dupe you into believing that that's your true credit score, when in fact, my TransUnion credit score is well over a 780, as I've shown you before. So if that's the TransUnion credit score, that's definitely a Vantage 3.0, and they're trying to hide it from you. Because of course, people like me are teaching you what credit scores define, and if you stop going to NerdWallet, they're not gonna make any more money. Next up on the list is Credit Sesame. This behemoth of an actual platform is solely built on get your free credit score. But nowhere on the site does it actually tell you, hey, this is your FICO score. This is your actual TransUnion FICO score. Hey, this is your Vantage 3.0. Again, they don't tell you until you sign into the app and you create an account, because they want you to go in there so they can market all of this trash to you. As you can see at the very top there, you got your credit score, credit cards, loans, digital banking, insurance. It's just a marketing site with a Vantage 3.0. It does not have a FICO score. Damn, Credit Sesame, you let us down. Now, here's one of my favorites that comes up in a lot of questions in a lot of videos. CreditWise. Now, CreditWise is super popular because it is actually powered through Capital One, and Capital One promotes it inside of their app. And Capital One has the largest amount of subprime borrowers. That means people that have a less than 680 credit score. Now, CreditWise clearly tells you at the very top of it, it is a Vantage score. Now, the crazy part is they're pulling it only from your TransUnion credit report, but when you apply for any Capital One product, they pull from all 3 credit reporting agencies, and they do pull your FICO Bank Card Score 8. So the fact that they're using a Vantage score to tell you what your score score is, I don't understand the point. It's really useless. So again, credit-wise is not a FICO score. It is a Vantage 3.0, just like Credit Karma, and it is trash also. I'll be honest with you, I feel like we're gonna find a lot of these to be complete trash and you're gonna be super disappointed. So brace yourself. Now let's bust into some of the actual big banks that are offering you your free credit score, because a lot of people use these. First up is American Express. Now, the crazy part about this is American Express used to give also a Vantage 3.0, but they turned everything around and now they offer you a FICO 8 score from Experian. Now, it's only from Experian, so just be aware of that. And a lot of these only stick to one credit score because at the end of the day, they're having to pay for it. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Even the big banks have to pay to get you your free credit score that they're trying to offer you, even if it's a FICO or a Vantage 3.0. But I'm glad to know that American Express does offer you your free FICO Experian credit score, not a Vantage. So remember, American Express is your FICO 8 credit score from Experian. Now, another reason why American Express is better than Chase Bank, I didn't say it, their platform told me. Chase Credit Journey is an actual credit scoring service that they give you for free if you have one of their credit cards. And I believe if you have an account with them, they'll also give it to you. Now, unfortunately, the Credit Journey is giving you a Vantage 3.0, which is also useless as much as Credit Karma is. So they're giving you a Vantage 3.0 from Experian, but it doesn't matter. It's a Vantage 3.0 that's completely useless to everyone. Super disappointing. Next up on the list is Discover Bank. Now, Discover Bank is going to give you a FICO score. That's right. They come in swinging. They are one of the top tier banks that you want to bank with or have credit cards with. Now, they're going to give you your FICO 8 from TransUnion. Now, again, remember, it's only from TransUnion. Now, the interesting part about this is the fact that they only give you one score, but they pull from multiple lenders, which is fine, but at least they're giving you your TransUnion FICO 8 score, which is superb, and it's going to give you some type of clarity. Next up on the list is America's favorite credit union. Navy Federal Credit Union has something called Mission Credit Confidence. Now, if you log in, you can see your credit score for free through the actual app. But unfortunately, you've been duped again. This is a Vantage 3.0, completely useless, and it's not even used by Navy Federal Credit Union, which is not shocking. But again, they're giving you a free Vantage 3.0, which is useless, just like Credit Karma. Next up on the list is Citibank. I think Citibank is a very popular bank. It's really well respected, but it's kind of strange because they give you a FICO score. It's telling me my FICO score is a 768. None of my FICO scores are lined up like that. So I'm like, okay, where do they get this? Nowhere in the app does it tell you what FICO score it is. Nowhere in the app does it tell you what credit reporting agency they're pulling it from. So it's just a mysterious FICO score that's out there floating around. Super disappointed by actual Citibank here. Now remember, anytime that you're using any app to see your credit score, you want them to show you a FICO score. FICO is used by more than 90% of lenders in the United States. It's the only credit score that matters. There are very few and in between small credit unions or small banks or some big banks that still use an actual Vantage 3.0. So it deems it completely useless. But here's the kicker. As I said in the last video, none of these top scores actually matter. I know that's shocking, right? Because you're looking for an industry-specific FICO credit score. Now, that's what confuses consumers more than anything. Whenever I talk to any of my clients and they're asking me where my credit score should be, okay, we're trying to purchase a car, so we want to look at the actual industry-specific scores. Let me put the chart up on the screen for you. As you can see at the very top of this, it says your FICO score 8. It's the most widely used version, but again, that top score doesn't matter. When you're going to apply for a car, they're going to be looking for your FICO Auto Score 8 for any type of auto lending. Some of them may use FICO Auto Score 9, but it's very uncommon. Now, you're going to be looking at your FICO Bank Card Score 8 if you're going to be looking for a new credit card. So remember, all credit cards are going to be your FICO Bank Card Score 8 or your FICO Bank Card Score 9. All these other ones on the list don't matter. This is an old list, just so you know. Now, if you're trying to apply for any type of mortgage, you're trying to purchase a home, they're going to be looking at your FICO 2, your FICO 5, or your FICO 4 for mortgage lending. So it's very important to understand all of these and how they actually are calculated. Each one of them are broken down. They all have their own different risk assessment, because remember, credit is all about risk. You need to reduce your risk as much as possible. So each one of these are going to be scored differently. So when you look at them, you're going to be shocked. You're like, oh my God, why is my mortgage score so low? Because the risk factors that are are actually putting that score together are much more serious than the ones for a credit card or an auto lending, because it's a more long-term actual risk to let you borrow money for a home. I hope you enjoyed this video. We covered a lot about your credit score and what apps to trust and what apps are trash and what credit scores matter. Make sure that you watch the next video, because it is about a big credit union that everyone loves. Now, if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.